Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic how to get started with Kubernetes in 5 minutes. Okay, so this is not just joke or a catchy title to attract people. So in real we can get started with Kubernetes in 5 minutes. Okay, so the main challenge to get onboarded with any new platform or framework is to get an environment to practice. That is one of the most challenging thing that every developer face when he want to start with, or every engineer face when he want to get started with a new technology. So earlier Kubernetes was also having the same problem, because let's say if you are a software engineer just with a laptop, for you to get onboarded, it was not easy because there was no lighter version of Kubernetes, or the installation or the lighter versions available were not having all the features that you see in the clustered version or the full version. So to overcome the challenge, now what we have is we have several lighter variants of Kubernetes which is production ready and which can be scaled and which has all the features as what we get in the full version of Kubernetes, which is the K8s. What is K8s? So Kubernetes in short form we call it as K8s. It's basically came from how it came is basically from K to S. Okay, there are 8 letters, so that is why K 8, number 8 and S. Okay, so the first K and the last S. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so 8 letters in between and S, so K8S. Okay, so that is how K8S came. Okay, so right now there are lightweight production grade Kubernetes distributions available. So those are MicroK8s and K3s. Okay, so both of these can be scaled to, or basically can be run in distributed mode, as well as we can run it in a single machine as well. The advantage of this is basically these distributions, right? It needs or it can be run in machines which has very low hardware configuration. For example, you can even run a Kubernetes on a Raspberry Pi. Okay, so which comes with few GBs of RAM, like 4 GB, 2 GB RAM, and very light, less number of CPU cores. So, but if you see the full distribution, the full sized Kubernetes K8s, so it won't run in a Raspberry Pi because it is heavy in weight and it needs a higher configuration machine. Okay, but the power is, or the beauty is, if you see MicroK8s or K3s, the features that it comes with almost all the features or everything that is available in the main distribution or the K8s. So, and because of our after introducing this MicroK8s and K3s, so now Kubernetes is ready to be shipped in scenarios like edge means, basically the edge gateways that is mostly common in industrial IoT use cases, or lightweight clients, okay, or appliances, smaller appliances. So on all these places you can deploy contain Kubernetes applications. Okay, so you don't really need to develop two type of applications for the edge and cloud, or edge and the central platforms. So you can have the same Kubernetes deployment created, so it works. So you don't need to make any changes in the deployment manifest file or anything. It works in the same way. Okay, so only thing is the installation. So, and another advantage is the installation of this Kubernetes, right? So in case of MicroK8s and K3s, the installation steps are very simple and you can get onboarded in just few minutes. Okay, so unlike the K8s, the installation steps are complex. And another advantage is, as this is lightweight, the attack surface of MicroK8s and K3s is less compared to the K8s. So this the hardening steps or the hardening process for these two are easier compared to the K8s distribution. Okay, so I think I gave a decent overview of what is this MicroK8s and K3s compared to the K8s, the larger distribution. And one more thing, MicroK8s is distributed by, or or supported by the providers of Ubuntu Canonical. Okay, so it is it's managed by the Ubuntu's family, and then this K3s is managed by a separate team. So both are production grade, and both are cloud native and basically like certified versions of Kubernetes. Okay, so you can see like cloud native, cloud foundation, these are certified by CNCF. Okay, so both even MicroK8s and K3s both are certified by cloud native, cloud CNCF certified. Okay, so let's get started. So to get started, it is very easy. So in this video I am going to explain how to install MicroK8s in an Ubuntu machine. So if you see here, it supports Linux, Windows and Mac operating systems. So for installation in Linux, the steps are all given here. Installation in Windows, so let's say if you have a Windows machine, you don't really need to create a VM or anything. You can directly get started by using the ESC installer available from here. But in production scenarios, I would recommend go for Linux operating system, because you will get more usable resources in the machine when you use Linux, because you can disable the unwanted services when you have Linux operating system. But Windows, even if you remove a lot, it still consumes like more CPU and memory compared to lighter version of Linux. Okay, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the steps that is mentioned over here. So what we do is we install it from the snap repository. Okay, so I have an Ubuntu machine here, so you name -a. Okay, so this is basically Ubuntu operating system, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to install MicroK8s. So in just one simple step, it gets the installables will get downloaded from the internet, and it will be installed in few minutes. Okay, so it downloaded the binaries. Now it is doing the installation. It takes some time because it has to do the internal installation and configuration. So in the meantime, so let me give you some more information about MicroK8s. So this is open source, and there is no license fee associated with this. If you click on this GitHub link, right, you can see the repository where this MicroK8s source code is available, and it's a certified version of Kubernetes. And again, if you see here the license of this particular MicroK8s, so this is with Apache 2.0 license. Okay, so that means as you can see here, free for commercial use, modifications are okay, distribution is fine, patented use, private use, it accepts all these, right? And if you want like a paid support, so Canonical will provide the paid support. So if you can see it over here, like enterprise support option, no license fee. So that means they provide the enterprise support, no license fee is required. So that means it's safe to deploy in enterprise grade applications as well. You don't have to worry. You just take a support plan if you'd like to get, so that you can have like hassle-free deployments. Okay, so that is with MicroK8s. So let's see what's the status of the installation. So I think it is downloading some more packages. So it's so depending upon the internet speed, the download time varies. So I'm having like an average speed internet connection. So, and again, the VM that I'm using is like a very small, I think I'm in 2 GB RAM kind of VM. So we can equate it to, or we can compare it with a Raspberry Pi. And maybe by the time it installs, let's do the comparison as well. So if you see the comparison between MicroK8s and K3s, okay, there is something called Minikube, but this I won't recommend Minikube. The reason is, this is not distributed setup is not possible with Minikube. So it is only for maybe like a developer to try out things. So I would recommend either using MicroK8s or K3s. Okay, and if you see CNCF certified, yes, both are certified. Vanilla Kubernetes, so MicroK8s is yes, and K3s, so it is very close to like the stock Kubernetes, but it has some minor variation, but it's very close. It has all the features of the K8s. Architecture support, so as you can see, this support ARM64, that means the ARM processors, right? So you can install it in lightweight devices like Raspberry Pis kind of devices. Okay, so So it's not just Intel, you can have it in small devices. So this extends the support of Kubernetes to edge gateways, like IoT gateways, edge appliances, etc. Okay, enterprise support. So it is available with MicroK8s as well as K3s. So you don't have to worry. So you'll get enterprise support from the team. Then single node support. So basically, like everything supports single node. Multi-node support, here is where MicroK8s and K3s stands. So at one more level up compared to Minikube. Okay, so this multi-node cluster support is there, and this is similar. Whatever, if you set up a cluster with MicroK8s or K3s, it is going to be equivalent or very similar to what you see it in K8s. Okay, and high availability, K3s and MicroK8s both are supported. Automatic updates, and again memory requirement, if you see it's 540 MB, 512 MB, it's almost similar. Okay, add-on functionalities. So add-on functionality means like apart from what is available in the vanilla Kubernetes, right, or the stock Kubernetes, there are some more add-ons. Basically, as it is managed by Canonical, right, they have added some more add-on functionalities to it. Then container runtime. This is using container D and KATA. This is using CRIO container D. Okay, networking. So it's almost like it's all the standard networking mechanisms, code DNS, traffic canal. So those kind of things are used over here. Nginx ingress controller. So all those things are used in the networking side. So both are like production grade. So if you see that, if I think the comparison between three, it's almost the same. The storage options also, like it's a production grade. GPU acceleration, it is supported in all these options. Okay, so that is the high level comparison between these three, but I would recommend stay with these two, so that this can be expanded or extended to any production grade use cases as well. Okay, so this is the comparison. Let's check. Okay, so now if you see, the MicroK8s is installed. Okay, now let's see MicroK8s. So now the next part is we need to check whether it is ready or not, right? So MicroK8s status. Okay, so let's check. So it will respond the status of this installation. Okay, MicroK8s is running. Okay, it's saying it's running, and also it tells us what are the add-ons that is enabled, like DNS, HA, Helm 3, right? These are enabled, and these are disabled by default, like Cert Manager, CS hardening, community, dashboard, GPU, so many things. And depending upon your requirement, you can enable any of these. Okay, those can be enabled simply by using a simple command, using MicroK8s enable and the specific service whatever we need, right? So that we can enable by using that. So MicroK8s enable the service name. That's it. That's what we need to use. And in case of normal Kubernetes K8s, we use the client kubectl, right? Here what we need, we just need to prefix it with MicroK8s, right? That means instead of kubectl, it will be MicroK8s then kubectl. Okay, so the command to list all the namespaces, right? So it is kubectl get, okay, all namespaces. Okay, so that is what we did it here. So kubectl get all. So it lists all the deployments, okay, that is running over here. Okay, get all, and from all namespaces. Okay, so that is like all the workloads that is running across all the namespaces is listed. So the only thing that we did is we put MicroK8s kubectl. Just to avoid this MicroK8s kubectl, what we can do is we can create an alias in this machine with just MicroK8s kubectl and refer it to kubectl, so that we don't have to type everything. Okay, so what we'll do is we can just use or create an alias. Here in this example they are saying mkctl. So what I'll do is we can even use maybe mkctl, or we can use just create kubectl itself, because as I don't have kubectl here. So let me check whether I have kubectl already. Kubectl, I don't have kubectl in this machine. So what I can do is we can even create a kubectl. We can create kubectl. We can create an alias for kubectl. Now kubectl get ports --. Okay, so now you see kubectl. Now I just typed kubectl get ports all namespaces, so it displayed the ports across all namespaces. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just show you the deployment of a simple application. Okay, so simple application, what I'll do is I'll take the example that is there in the original the Kubernetes official documentation. So there it has an example of deploying an Nginx, okay, Nginx deployment to Kubernetes. So the specification or the manifest file is over here, and it is hosted in a GitHub URL. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just use the same manifest file for the deployment in this machine. So what I'll do is kubectl apply -f for file, and you can refer either a file locally or you can refer it from a URL, public URL. Okay, so I'm just deploying the Nginx. Okay, now you see deployment apps Nginx deployment created. So let's test kubectl get deployments. Okay, the namespaces. So to find the namespace where it is running, so what we can check is basically here in this you will have label is there, deployment is there, and somewhere in this itself it will have the namespace. Okay, so let's check where it was deployed. So now you see in the default namespace, because in this spec we don't have the namespace defined, that's why it got deployed to the default namespace. But what we can do is if you put the namespace meta in the metadata, what will happen is it will get deployed to the specific namespace that we mentioned. As we have not defined the namespace over here, it got deployed to the default namespace. Okay, so you see Nginx deployment. Okay, so like I mean it is showing the status. Okay, and it is showing like I mean it was deployed 34 seconds ago. Okay, so now you see previously it was 0/3 ready, so because it was not ready, the ports were not up, and now you see 3/3 ready, up is 3 and available 3. Now the Nginx deployment, it is ready. Okay, so now if you do kubectl get ports, okay, so you see there will be 3 ports running in the default namespace corresponding to the Nginx that we deployed. Okay, so Nginx deployment 1, Nginx deployment 2, Nginx deployment 3. So because we specified in the replica, in the spec replica, it has 3, so that's why I deployed 3. So if we make it 2, so for example what we can do is we can download this and redeploy this. Okay, so what we will do is we will take this URL. Okay, so cube example wget, let's download the spec file. So I just did a wget, let's see whether it pulls or not, else I'll just or another thing option is we can just copy and paste and create a file if it is taking time. Okay, so I think there is some problem in rendering that file. So nginx spec.yaml. So in this one what I'll do is the replica I'm going to make it 2. Okay, so now what I'll do is kubectl apply -f nginx step. Okay, now the deployment Nginx deployment configured. Okay, now let's see kubectl get ports. So now you see the Nginx deployment. Previously there were 3 ports running. Okay, now it got changed to 2. Now you can see 2 ports. The deployments kubectl get deployment. Now you see previously it was 3/3, now it is 2/2. Okay, so you can deploy anything. You just define the manifest file for that Kubernetes object and you deploy it. Okay, so I hope this example is clear and useful. So as you can see, the installation took only like hardly less than 5 minutes. Okay, it got completed in few minutes, and you can deploy your application very quickly. So one more thing to specify is basically it is very important to make sure, I mean, where the metadata for this or the control plane data gets stored in this lighter versions of Kubernetes. Okay, so there are various options in K3s. I mean, it gives us options to store it in highly available databases, like I mean etcd or relational databases. So by default, I mean, it comes with SQLite. So but SQLite is not good for production use case, but depending upon your requirement, right, you can modify that. Okay, so I just mentioned this point so that, I mean, you will be you'll take a note of it. But just to get started, like you can get started in like just few minutes. Okay, so I hope this example is useful. So if you have any queries, comments, feedback, feel free to comment below this video. I'll definitely respond back. And if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel as well, so that you will get notifications of my future videos as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day.